In this video, I'm going to compare and contrast the Shun Sora 7-inch hollow ground Santoku to the Wusthof Gourmet 7-inch hollow ground Santoku. The point of a Santoku knife is to essentially be a Japanese counterpart or an Asian counterpart to the sort of French-style chef's knife. It's flatter and it's meant for more push cutting than for the actual rocking cutting that you normally see with a chef's knife. And I actually personally prefer Santokus to chef's knives, but it really comes down to personal preference. I'm making this video because they're both entry-level knives made by the respective manufacturer, and they're both actually in the same price point, so it just makes sense to compare the two. Off the bat, these knives are much more dissimilar than they are similar. The Shun is a handmade and forged knife from Japan. The Wusthof is a machine-made stamped knife from Germany. And aside from that, the huge difference comes in the actual blades. The Shun uses VG10 steel, which as you all know is the gold standard in knife making right now. It's very hard, it's very resilient, and it holds an edge extremely well. It's about a 61 hardness, while the Wusthof uses their own proprietary blend, which is much softer. It's 58 hardness. And that means the knife's going to dull much faster, it's going to need more sharpening more often, it's going to need to be honed more often than the Shun does, which I think is something to consider. On top of that, the Wusthof has a pretty bulky 18.5-degree angle on either side, while the Shun has an extremely sharp 16 angle on either side. And what that means is that with the Shun, I can literally take this knife right now and shave my entire arm in one motion. With the Wusthof, no matter how I'm angling the knife, it's not going to really cut any of my hairs off. And that's how sharp the difference is between these two. The cool thing is that both of the handles really are pretty similar. They're both plastic handles to save on cost. The Shun, I think, is much more ergonomic because it has these little recessions right here. So as you do a pinch grip, it just sort of molds into your hand. The Wusthof does not have that. And both knives also have essentially full tangs. And this is what I mean. The Wusthof most definitely has a full tang. You can see it right there. It's very thick. It's the same thickness as the actual blade. It's very nice. The Shun has something called a rabbit tang, and it's the way they used to make samurai swords long time ago. The tang actually ends about right here. But in practical use, it's going to behave the exact same way as a full tang. And this is why. Because as you're actually holding it, the pivot point is past your actual hand regardless. So as you're working with it, there's no risk of the knife coming out of the handle because you're using the entire tang as a handle. So I think that becomes sort of a moot point. The other moot point I really think is a moot point is the warranties. The Wusthof has a lifetime warranty, the Shun has a 10-year warranty, but in reality those are very similar warranties, and this is why. These warranties cover manufacturer defects, and any defect that you're going to have on these knives are going to show up well before the 10-year mark. So anything past 10 years is really just lip service. What the Shun has that I love is a lifetime of free sharpening, and this is why I think it's important. With nice knives, if you take them to a reputable sharpener who does it by hand, it's going to cost you about $5 per inch to sharpen it, which means both of these knives are going to be roughly $35 an inch, and even then you don't really know if you're going to be one of those horror stories where the knife gets wrecked. With the Shun, you give it to them, they look at it, if they see any problems, they throw it away and they give you a new one. But otherwise, you can rest easy knowing they're going to put the exact same edge back on the knife that you first fell in love with, and they're going to do it for free, which I think is a no-brainer. I definitely think, in terms of everything, the Shun is a better knife to purchase. It is a better steel, it's a sharper blade, it's wrapped in stainless steel, it's forged, it's handmade, it comes with free lifetime sharpening, and it just sort of looks beautiful. But if you really like German-style knives, this is definitely an option. I'll put a link down to both below. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, as always, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you very soon.